My name is Clara Simmons, and I am 28 years old. I live in the charming little town of Maplewood, a place that holds a certain beauty with its tree-lined streets and friendly atmosphere. I work at a mid-sized company that prides itself on teamwork and integrity, or at least that is what I believed. My role as an analyst requires careful attention to detail as I prepare internal reports that contribute to our company's growth and progress. I take immense pride in my work, fostering a reputation for being diligent and trustworthy. My colleagues respect me, and I thrive on the sense of accomplishment that comes from delivering accurate data and insightful analysis. However, little did I know that my world was about to face a significant shakeup. It all started when my boss, Melissa Granger, seemed more stressed than usual. Her decisions were becoming erratic, and the deadlines were piling up like storm clouds. One afternoon, she called me into her office, and my heart sank a little as I entered. I noticed the tension in the air, palpable like an electrical charge. Melissa looked at me with a mix of desperation and authority, and then it happened. She asked me to adjust some numbers in our upcoming internal reports to reflect a much more favorable picture for our department. The way she twisted her words, it was clear that she was hinting to me that the numbers needed to be changed. I felt a knot form in my stomach as I realized that she was essentially asking me to lie. For a moment, I froze. The ethical implications of her request whirled around in my mind like a tornado, along with the fear of losing my job if I crossed her. I knew I could not fulfill her request without compromising my values, not to mention the serious consequences if our manipulation was discovered. But I also did not want to confront her head-on, knowing that could escalate the already tense situation. I needed to think clearly, so instead of reacting impulsively, I allowed a silent storm of determination to brew within me. I decided to play it smart. I would gather evidence and protect myself, while still maintaining my commitment to the truth. I completed the report with the actual numbers, ensuring everything was accurate and above board. I submitted it up the chain while CCing her, making sure that all the timestamps and relevant documentation were meticulously detailed. I saved all emails and messages to cover my tracks, just in case something went awry. I wasn't planning on being a martyr. I was simply ensuring that when the time came, I would not be left hanging in the wind. Days passed, and it was not long before the leadership team began to notice the discrepancies between our department's claims and the actual data presented in my report. I watched from a distance as the tension in the office escalated. Melissa was beginning to sweat. When the inevitable questions arose, she instantly tried to divert attention away from herself, claiming that I had misunderstood her instructions. My heart raced as I sat quietly at my desk, knowing the truth was on my side. The moment came when Human Resources called me in to discuss the matter. I walked in, armed with all of my documentation, the emails, the original data set, and the final report. I calmly laid everything out on the table, showing them the timeline of events while remaining composed. With each piece of evidence I revealed, I could see the color drain from Melissa's face as she sank deeper into her web of lies. The realization dawned on her that she was trapped, and there was no way out. What followed was swift. Melissa was summoned into a meeting and was reported to have left the office, looking shattered. Officially, they said she resigned, but there were whispers in the halls that made it evident that her departure was far from voluntary. I did not celebrate or raise my voice to anyone. I simply went back to my work, proud that I had stood my ground and done the right thing. In the aftermath, I noticed a shift in my workplace. With Melissa gone and a new manager who valued integrity stepping in, the atmosphere improved. People began to feel more comfortable speaking up and sharing their thoughts without fear of retaliation. I realized that I had inadvertently become a symbol of resilience, and while I never sought recognition, the respect from my coworkers was heartening. But life has a funny way of throwing curveballs. One day, I received an email from the former leadership, wanting to meet up for a gathering to celebrate new beginnings. I hesitated, unsure whether to attend, knowing that Melissa would be a topic of discussion. Yet curiosity got the better of me. When I walked in, I was surprised to find that many of my colleagues looked at me with admiration instead of pity. They had witnessed her declining behavior and how I had resisted her corrupted influence. It felt surreal to hear them share tales of inspiration, and before long, the evening transformed into one of camaraderie and growth. As I left, I could not help but glance back at the building that had become a backdrop to so much. I had grown from a place of uncertainty and fear into a standing pillar of integrity, and my quiet pride swelled. The unexpected twist came later when human resources approached me with a new opportunity, a promotion into a higher position, where I could build a culture of trust and transparency, ensuring that the mistakes of the past would not haunt us again. I took a deep breath, knowing that I had transformed my struggle into strength. Sometimes, revenge does not require loud declarations. Sometimes, it is simply doing what is right and allowing others to see it unfold. I won not just for myself, but for everyone who believed in honesty over deceit. And as I embraced my new role, I looked forward to all that Maplewood had yet to offer, knowing that I had truly made my mark.